Ki Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from Canto 3rd, chapter 12, and our today's verse is verse number 42. So today's chapter is entitled Creation of the Kumaras and Others. Is the screen showing? No. 3.12.42.
Yes.
Yeah, because I have to show the presentation also. So maybe the screen is not showing.
So if they can just put it on the phones, but I'll try to get it going.
Okay. Savitram Prajapatyam cha
Pitram Prajapatyam cha
Brahmam chata Brahattata Brahmam
Vattatha
Vartas
Matasayarshadena
Shilocha iti Vaigrihe
Locha
Savitram Prajapatyam Shilochena iti Vaigrihe
Siloch iti Vaigrihe Savitram Prajapatyam
Shalim cha Prajapatyam cha
Brahmam cha Vattatha
Brahmam chata Brahattata
Vada Sanchaya Salina
Varta Sanchaya Shalina
Silocha iti Vaigrihe
Silochana iti Vaigrahe.
Savitram Prajapatyam cha
Savitram Prajapatyam cha
Mam Kata Brihata
Brahmam chata Brahattatha
It's showing up there, but it's showing.
Am I audible to the Zoom audience?
Now, yeah. Before it was all gone
Okay,
totally.
okay. Let me try to share the screen again. Okay.
Now see if they can hear you now.
Yeah, we all can hear Mataji. Am I here? I'm audible, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, we are able to hear you well.
Okay. Okay. If by any chance, if connection goes off, maybe just text Dronacharya Prabhu. He's and
I think
then
internet is a
he
little weak
can
for you.
connect us with his own. So go from here. I'm sure. You want me to stop sharing, Prabhu, and you can just do it because in between of the class there
Yeah.
will be disturbed.
Yeah.
So, okay. Dronacharya Prabhu is going to connect us. So I'm just logging off from here. Okay. Synonyms. Savitram, the thread ceremony of the twice born, Prajapatyam, to execute the vow for 1 year, Cha, and Brahmam, acceptance of the Vedas, Cha, and Atha, also, Brihad, complete abstinence from sex life, Tatha, then, Varta, vocation in terms of Vedic sanction, Sanchaya, professional duty, Shalina, li livelihood without asking anyone for cooperation. Shila Unchaha, das, even though Grehe in household life. Translation.
Mute చేసేయండి.
Grehe in household life. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Then the thread ceremony for the twice born was inaugurated, as were the rules to be followed for at least 1 year after acceptance of the Vedas, rules for observing complete abstinence from sex life, vocations in terms of Vedic injunctions, various professional duties in household life, and the method of maintaining our livelihood without anyone's cooperation by picking up rejected grains. Purport. During student life, the brahmacharis were given full instructions about the importance of the human form of life. Thus, the basic education was designed to encourage the student in becoming free from family encumbrances. Only students unable to accept such a vow in life were allowed to go home and marry a suitable wife. Otherwise, the students would remain a permanent brahmachari, observing complete abstinence from sex life for his whole life. It all depended on the quality of the student's training. We had the opportunity to meet an avowed brahmachari in the personality of our spiritual master, Om Vishnupad, Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj. Such a great soul is called a Neshtika Brahmachari. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नामस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam chapter 12 of Canto 3rd, verse 42. And the Srimad Bhagavatam gives us all the insights of all those secret things which otherwise is very difficult to obtain. There are various parts to this Vedic knowledge which we are going to study today, and that's why, because today's topic and this topic, this chapter, 12th chapter, is in general is a technical chapter. So there are so many lots of terms and terminologies which we keep using in this chapter, and it's very important for all of us to understand what is happening. Most of the time, we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we are learning Srimad Bhagavatam, the speaker is speaking, I'm listening, I'm hearing. But at the end of the class, we don't even know what's happening because it's not anything which I am lacking. This is just one of the defects which a human being has. Our senses are limited, and that's why it's impossible for to understand this Vani, which is Aparishaya, or this is the knowledge or the Vedic knowledge which is coming from the breathing of Swayam Bhagavan, of Swayam Narayana. So I will try my best to explain what is given in this verse and also in this chapter in total. But let's see how I'm going to do. So there are two things. There are two things. One is Parabrahma and the other is Shabda Brahma. Parabrahma is the Supreme Lord and a personal form of the Supreme Lord, and Shabda Brahma is the, what is Shabda Brahma? Krishna speaks about it in Bhagavad Gita. It's the sound vibration. It's the sound vibration, and what is the pranava? We call it Om. Hmm. So this is Shabda Brahma, Om. At the starting of creation, when the creation was starting, Vedas, Shabda Brahma originate it himself in the form Om. In one sense, Shabda Brahma and Parabrahma. Now these terminologies are clear, right? What is Parabrahma and what is Shabda Brahma? So in one sense, Shabda Brahma and Parabrahma both are same. Hmm? This is not my opinion or my discussion in Canto 6th. When there is a discussion between Maharaj Chitraketu and Lord Shankarshana. Lord Shankarshana is explaining this to Maharaj Chitraketu that Shabda Brahma and Parabrahma is the same. Hmm? But at the same time, there is difference in both. Parabrahma is different from Shabda Brahma. Now, how they are different? So, how they are different? So, our acharyas explain that Shabd Brahma is Vachaka. Vachaka means who is referring to something. Hmm? And Parabrahma is Vachya. Vachya means where it has been referred to. Hmm? So our Shabd Brahma or our literature, this Aparusha literature is indicating towards somebody. And who is that person? He is Parabrahma. So Shabd Brahma is indicating towards Parabrahma. So as we know that Parabrahma incarnates himself in this material world into different incarnation like Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, so many incarnations. So similarly, Shabda Brahma also expand himself. Hmm? And Shabda Brahma, the original Shabda Brahma, the seed is Om Pranava, which Krishna is explaining in Bhagavad Gita. So Om, this seed Shabda Brahma, expands himself into three Vedas. Earlier three Vedas. Now this discussion, if you are interested to dig more about it, so Uddhava Gita, 11th canto, chapter number 17, verse number 11th canto, chapter 17 is a very wonderful explanation which Krishna is giving to Uddhava about the Varanashram system. And there, in couple of previous verses, he's explaining how he descends himself into this Shabda Brahma and from where the Varnashram system start and why this Varnashram system is there. and who is eligible for this Varnashram system, and how my pure devotees are different from Varnashram system. So the entire thing is very wonderfully explained by Krishna to Uddhava in that particular chapter. I think almost I'm not sure, but half of the philosophy is given in 11th canto. Very philosophical canto, and in that, Uddhava Gita forms a big section of that 11th canto, which is a detailed version of Bhagavad Gita. A detailed version of Bhagavad Gita, and it has been said by our leaders, by our teachers, that whatever Krishna did not explain in Bhagavad Gita, he included so many details and explained it to Uddhava. So it's a recommendation we all should be reading that Bhagavad Uddhav Gita chapter. I mean the section of 11th canto. So Krishna there is explaining that I in the in so here we are in this chapter we can see that Lord Brahmaji, from Lord Brahmaji different things are coming, right? And we have seen in previous verses, specifically from 37, 38, 39, that from different mouth, how many mouths or heads our Brahmaji has? Four heads. And for four heads, different things are coming, right? Different things mean all the Vedic information, Vedic knowledge is coming. Rig Ved, Sam Ved, Yajur Ved, and Athar Ved. And after that, limbs of Vedas are also coming from different mouth, from eastern mouth, southern mouth, western mouth, not mouth, the head, southern head, and the northern head. All these things are coming. So all these things coming as the manifestation, and they are residing as the personified deities along with Lord Brahmaji in Satyalok. All these personified deities of Vedas are there. So, with the passage of age, these Vedas are manifesting in this cosmic manifestation. And these Vedas are eligible for everybody, for people who are in upper planetary system, people who are in lower planetary system. These Vedas are applicable for everybody. And Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is saying, so you are human being on this earthly planet perform yagna, and from the yagna, demigods are going to get the power and they are going to bestow results accordingly. So Vedas are applicable because they are universal, they are coming from the Lord, they are Shabda Brahma. So it's applicable for everybody, right? So 18 kinds of Vidya, we call it as Ashta Vidya. Oh, sorry, not Ashta Vidya. It's 18 kinds of Vidya which are coming from the Shabda Brahma, or we can say Shabda Brahma is expanding itself into these 18 forms, right? So Krishna in 11:17 he's saying that in Satyuga all the people were very pious and automatically naturally devoted to me. So at that time there was only one undivided sound vibration which we call Om Pranava was existing, and I appeared there as four in the minds of people. I just appear as four-legged bull of religion, right, at that time. And but with the passage of time in Treta Yuga, I divided, or from my limbs of my body, three Vedas generate, right? And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in the commentary to 11 Canto 17 chapter in verses 5 to 6, he is giving in his commentary about the 18 kinds of Vidya, or the what you call division of that Om Shabd Brahma, um, generates. So I create a little bit, not this one, a very small sections of PowerPoint, so that it is, just for our own understanding. So whenever we talk about these things, so people think, not even I think, why there is so much information I have to learn, or I have to hear about. What is the use in my life? But this is what Srimad Bhagavatam is giving to all of us. This knowledge is not just the information. This is what we all should be realizing in our own life, and we should be able to understand from where and what is coming from. And when we are claiming ourselves as the students of Srimad Bhagavatam, so that means that we should be knowing all these things, which is very intricate too. So, and I think this is the right kind of audience where we can share all this knowledge which our acharyas have been given to us. So these are the four Vedas which have been divided: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, and Athar Veda. And we know these Vedas, and Krishna also is describing in 11:17 again and again, because I have taken most of the stuff from that chapter. So, Rig Veda, these are the activities of Hota or a priest, right? Chanting of mantras. We have already covered this section in previous verses, 37, 38, and 39. But just to set a context for this today's verse, I'm showing this, and also for revision for myself. Yajurveda, activities of Ardhavayu, sacrificial performance. So these are the activities of Ardhavayu. Different priests are there, and they are chanting different kinds of mantras. Like Samaveda, they are singing verses or musical verses, and these are the activities of Udgada. And next is Atharva Veda, where Krishna is not.
I'm just saying, if you changed, did you change this one?
Oh, yes. Oh, no. Yes. No. Sorry. I'm bad with technology, you all can say. So, Atharveda, activities of Brahma. Sorry, the A is not there. Brahma. It's for remedical measures. So many times this Atharveda is not included when Krishna is talking in Bhagavad Gita, and also in 11th canto when Krishna is talking that in Treta Yuga I divide, or this Om Pranava, one syllable divide, he is talking about only three Vedas: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, and Samaveda. This Athar Veda is a kind of auxiliary or subsidiary or supplement which includes remedical measures. And then these are four. Next is six Vedanganas or limbs of the Vedas. These are the six limbs of the Veda. Siksha, science of pronunciation, like how to pronounce the verses, right? Properly. Siksha. Vyakarana, Vedic grammar and language rules. Chandas, study of poetic meters, in which I am very poor doing, reciting the particular verse in a particular meter, and there are so many meters, and they all are going to manifest from the mouths of Brahma. We are going to read in further verses. So I'm just giving it here. Nirukta, interpretation of words. Jyotish Shastra or Jyotisha, Vedic astrology and astronomy. Kalpa, ritual procedure and ceremonial rules. These are the six limbs. Then four Upavedas or secondary Vedas. Upavedas, Ayurveda, which is medical science and health. So many times this question comes, right? Where is Ayurveda? Which branches is in the four Vedas. So now when we know that there are 18 Vidyas or 18 kinds, the Shabda Brahma is expanding, we can explain that it is one of the Upaveda, right? Or Ayurveda, Dhanurveda. This is for commercial, for Kshatriyas and for Brahmanas. And according to Varnas also, this knowledge is being, has been distributed among the different Varnas, which we are going to cover later. Gandharva Veda, music, dance, and performing arts. Like, if we remember in Krishna book or in Canto 10th, when Krishna and Balaram went to Sandipani Muni Ashram, right? Krishna learnt all the arts. So this is Gandharva Veda, music, arts, and dance, all these things. So Kshatriyas, they learn everything. Brahmanas, they learn everything. Martial arts, everything. Upavedas. Satapatya Veda, architectural science, how to create what. Next is supplementary tracks, which is Puranas, ancient stories, cosmology and legends, stories, Nyaya Shastra. So Nyaya, Mimamsa, and Dharma Shastra are there. So Nyaya is what? Logical interpretation of things. Uh, why this happened? Where this happened? Logically, when it explained, it all given in the Nyaya Shastra, Mimamsa, Vedic interpretation. Actually, the explanation of each uh, item or each product here is vast, but in the interest of time, the names and the little bit explanation has been given. Then is Dharma Shastra. Dharma Shastra includes Manusmriti or Manu Samhita. Many times we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, Manu Samhita, Srila Prabhupada is also referring, and so many times it has been referred. So this Manu Samhita, now we are going to see in further verses when Shatrupa and Swayambhuva Manu is going to come, Brahmaji is going to tell them, create the law book, right? This is included in Dharma Shastra. So if we calculate all these things, they come to this number of 18. We can all 18 branches of Vedic knowledge. So this is how Shabda Brahma expands and it provides all kind of information to everybody. And then in verse 41, we have seen that Krishna is again talking about the four legs, four legs of religion, right? 3:12:41. Vidya, Danam, Tapa, Satyam. Vidya, Danam, Tapa, and Satyam. But if we see in first canto, 17th chapter, there Krishna is mentioning what are the four pillars of Dharma? Four legs of bull, Dharma. Truth, truthfulness, cleanliness, austerity, and mercy. Right? This has been, but here Vidya, Danam, Tapa, and Satyam, right? And education, charity, penance, and truth are said to be the four legs of religion. So I want to just show, I want to here mention that whatever Krishna is explaining in 11th canto, 17th chapter is in line with what Brahmaji is here at this time. Everything is just manifesting. Manifesting. It has already been created, everything. It has been manifesting. And with the passage of time, when the yugas change, and in what yuga, how much knowledge is given, like in for Kali Yuga, we know that Vedvyas Muni, he just gave us all these things, Vidya. Why? If we remember, at the start of this chapter, Brahmaji created 5 kinds of avidya. And why 5 kinds of avidya? Because this living entity who is conditioned just cover itself and just roam around into this world. But how to claim this living entities back? So for that, these all vidyas have been created. Now we understand why the vidyas are there, what is going on, why Brahmaji's mouth is emanating, or Brahmaji's mouth or heads are creating so many or manifesting so many things from everywhere in order to get this information or the vidya, so that this vidya can cut that avidya which was set previously. So with the help of the knowledge, we can just get out of that ignorance. So that's why it has been explained. So here, so 41, verse 41, it explains, it's here, Vidya. Vidya is knowledge, Dhanam charity, Tapa austerity, and Satyam is truth. So here, as say 117 and 24, so knowledge plus charity is equal to Shaucham or the cleanliness we just talk about. Cleanliness is not about just taking bath in the morning. It's about knowledge. Knowledge, with knowledge, we just as we discussed, right? Avidya goes away and vidya rise. And charity. With charity, it's with charity, as we are performing charity, the purity comes, right? That's what given. So it's equal to shaucham or cleanliness. And austerity and truth is equal to daya or mercy. We can refer to 117:24 for that. So this has been explained in verse number 41. Now, today's verse. Now, today's verse, four ashramas. So there are four varnas and four ashramas. What are varnas? Division, or from Lord's limbs. Varnas are coming. Varnas are qualities. And what are these qualities? Jai Shri Shri Radha Charat Bihari Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Guru Nitai ki jai. Is the audience online able to see the screen? If not, then it's okay.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be able to see
Okay.
No,
that far away.
no, we cannot see the.
Screen. Yeah.
Well, unless you can share your screen.
If you share your screen, but just don't share, are you still on Zoom or did you log out of Zoom? Just don't do your audio.
Yeah. Good idea, Prabhu. Thank you. Because this is a kind of, I showed presentation before also, PowerPoint slide. I try to put it in here so that, it's no, it. Yes. All right.
So don't do audio.
I am not going to do my audio. Okay. Audio is already.
Speaker also.
You can see it.
All right, so there are four ashramas and four varnas. So what Krishna is explaining ashrama and the description is giving. Brahmacharya ashrama, which is student life, as we all know. Grahastha ashrama, householder life. Vanaprastha is retired life, and sannyasa is renounced life. Now after explaining what is given in the verse, I'm going to try to dive into deeper what brahmacharya is actually, because in brahmacharya it's what it has been given and what's Srila Prabhupada's opinion also in regard to this particular brahmacharya, and also what Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur had to say, because Srila Prabhupada has mentioned his name in the purport. So I thought it's going to be interesting to know. Okay, so in this particular verse number 42, four types of, so all these ashramas, brahmacharya, grahastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa has been divided into further four types. Further four types, which is given here in this particular verse 42, Savitra. Now the student life, when when a boy goes to the teacher to study Vedas and all these 18 kinds of knowledge we just discussed. So celibacy for 3 nights. So that person is called Savitra, who maintains celibacy for 3 nights. And it is coming from eastern mouth of Brahmaji. And Prajapatya, celibacy for a year. This is what today's verse is talking about, 42. Celibacy for a year. Who maintains celibacy for 1 year after the Upanayan Sanskar, when the thread is given. Celibacy for 1 year, that type of brahmacharya is coming from Southern mouth. Brahmana, celibacy until the study of Vedas is completed, coming from western mouth of Brahmaji. Brihat, celibacy until death, or northern mouth. That has been explained in today's verse. And the occupational duties of householders are also given. So Savitra, Prajapatya, and Brahmana form one category because these are the kind of students who, after some time, are interested in going and getting married and to enter into another ashrama, which is Grahastha ashrama. So they are called Upakurvana. And the Brahat Brahmacharis are also called Nishtika Brahmachari, who remain celibate for the rest of their life, just like Sri Narada, four Kumaras, Narayan Rishi, although they are incarnation of the Supreme Lord, but Nashtik Brahmachari. So they have so much power, these Nashtik Brahmachari. Srila Prabhupada in one of the purports is explaining that they have so much knowledge and power that once they hear, they can recite because of the power of not losing their potency, right? And that's what has been explained here, at least in the translation. And four occupations of ghrastas have been explained. We read Varta, occupations which is not forbidden. Now, when we talk about ghrasta, it includes all the kinds of varnas too: brahmanas, kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras, right? All these. And they are coming from the different limbs of the Virat Purusha. Varta, occupation which is not forbidden, just like agriculture. So it depends on what Varna you are from. Brahmana, if you are a Brahmana. So Krishna has given in 18th chapter very nicely 40, 41, 42, 43 verses where Krishna is explaining what are the duties of Brahmana and what are the duties of Grahastha, and what are the duties of Kshatriya, what are the duties of Shudras, and what are the duties of Vaishyas, right? Agriculture, trade, or cow protection is the duty of Vaishyas. And the Brahmanas teaching Patana, Pajan, Puja, all these things. And next is Sanchaya, performing sacrifices. We can see that this is the duty of Brahmanas. Shalina, taking alms without begging. One of the duty which this Brahmana can take, taking alms without begging from anybody. Shilochana, taking fallen grains in the field, Nadran mouth, right? Coming from the Nadran mouth. So that is what has been explained as far as the translation is concerned. And I have given the description in one line, what it means according to the commentary given to us by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur for this particular verse. That's what has been explained. Four occupations of Grahastha came and four types of Brahmacharya came from different mounts. And when we go further in further verses, the verse for tomorrow is this. So I'm just giving you the hint. This is what the speaker is going to talk about. Four types of vanaprasthas are there and four types of sannyasis are there. This is all, I have taken from the commentaries of Prabhupada as well as from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So now for this four types of brahmacharya, it has been given in Manu Samhita. Manu Samhita, what part of 18 kinds of Vedas it forms? Dharma Shastra. It is Dharma Shastra. It is a supplement literature, Manu Samhita. Now we are all clear, right? So now there are 8 aspects which has been given in Manu Samhita, which can be an obstacle in the life of celibacy. And this brahmacharya is a concept also. It is an ashram, but it is also a concept. And this brahmacharya is not for particular kind of student only. It is applicable in grahastha ashram also, and also in vanaprastha and sannyasa. This aspect of brahmacharya is applicable in grahastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa. It is applicable in all the 4 ashramas, this brahmacharya. Householders are brahmacharis too. And we know Srila Prabhupada has given so many purports on this. What are those 8 aspects which is given in Manu Samhita? Just give me a minute. Okay. Usually, when we hear about 9 limbs of devotional service, what we hear? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, right? Here also it's the same thing. But these are kind of obstacles. Smarana. Smarana is thinking or remembering sexual enjoyment or the opposite sex. If we remember Ajamil, what happened to him? He was doing smarana of what he has seen. Smarana. So this start with a very subtle concept of smarana, what we have seen, maybe in movies, maybe in a comic, in a book, in a magazine. Sorry. Thinking or remembering sexual pleasure or opposite sex. See, these are the 8 obstacles which is given in Manu Samhita. Kirtana. Kirtan, talking, singing, or speaking about what I am remembering. So these are not Smaranam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. This is Smaranam, Kirtanam, Yoshit, lady, woman. And it is the opposite also. Because Srimad Bhagavatam is giving verses to both, to men as well as to women. Specifically, if nobody will believes on me, just go and read Canto 3rd, Teachings of Kapil Dev, and Kapil Dev is giving the teachings to women also and to men also. Both. Smaranam, Kirtanam, Yoshit. Yoshit means lady. So, Keli, joking, playing, or flirting with the opposite sex in romantic or lustful way. As far as it is important for our service, we should be talking. But joking, playing, or flirting is one of the obstacles which is called Keli. Zoom connection is gone, but that's okay.
Yeah, see, it froze here.
Okay.
But they can still hear you speaking.
Okay.
But that, I don't know.
Okay. Next is Prekshana. Now, this is starting from subtle. It is starting to getting on gross level. Prekshana, looking at someone with lust or glazing with sensual intent, right? Both goes for both. Brahmachari is applicable for both ladies and men, and is prevalent in all the 4 ashramas, as I said. Looking at someone with lust or gazing with sensual intent. Nice sari, nice dhoti, nice chadar, all these things. This all starts with very subtle thinking. Guna Kirtana, praising the qualities or physical beauties of opposite sex. Guna Kirtana, Sankalpa, forming a desire or determination in the mind to engage in sensual pleasure. Sankalpa. Now, when it comes, this Sankalpa comes, I'm going to give the remedy too. Trust me, these are all the problems. We need to find the remedies too. Sankalpa, Adhyavasa, endeavoring or attempting to fulfill such desire. Once Sankalpa is there, determination is there, I'm going to associate, although I'm in the sannyas ashram, I'm going to associate with this particular gender. So, Adhyavasa, attempting to fulfill such desires. And 8th is actually doing it. Kriya Nirvaha, the actual physical act of sexual union or indulgence. So these are the 8 aspects which are the blockage in the road of being a celibate. And not only in the brahmacharya ashram, in grhastha, in vanaprastha, and in sannyasa ashram. So, what to do for that? What to do? Perform Ashtanga Yoga, like what Shaubari Muni did, and he fell, like what Vishwamitra did. In 3rd canto, it has been mentioned by Kapil Muni that no one in this entire cosmic manifestation is able to kill or to control Kamadev or lust. It is inbuilt. What is the 4 things? Kama, Artha, Kama, Moksha. No. Artha, Kama, Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. So Kama is there. only one person who is the successful winner of this lust is Narayan Rishi. And Kamadev himself is speaking in one of the verses in Mahabharata that nobody can kill me or hurt me. And if anybody wants to try to do it, I just enter into that activity and just allure this. I allure the person. Hmm? So what to do? Many times we can see that we try to perform austerity. I'm going to sleep on the floor. I'm going to eat only once in Chaturmas, whole 4 months, right? And I'm going to control my senses. And your this news just circulate like a fire, and then people come to us. Oh, Prabhu, you are doing so much austerity. Prabhu, you are such a nice, great divinity. And then one Mataji come and Prabhu, you just joined ISKCON and you are just trying to control your. Can you also help me be my guide? And then what happened? After few days or few years, they both live happily ever after. Right? That's what happened. So Kamadev is saying, okay, nobody can control me by all these things. Ashtada, the things are obstacles and they come in the life of Vanaprastha, in the life of sannyas. Especially in this wonderful yuga we are in, Kali Yuga. It has such a nice arrangement for all these things, right? So what to do? As Krishna Janmashtami is coming, I was thinking that what to do. When I was reading all this, I'm like, what to do then? Huh? You remember there is a pastime of Lord Shri Krishna of Vatsasur. And in that pastime, what happened? A small little boy just comes, a demon, name is not given, it is Vatsasur. He became like a calf, a demon became like a calf, and he disguised himself in other calves. Uh, and who recognized him amongst the calf? Krishna. And then Krishna killed him. We know the story. But it has a deep significance into it. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said that this Vatsasur story, and also Hari Suri is one of the famous commentator on 10th canto. He is giving that Vatsasur is like lust, which comes into the heart of men and women both in the time of their adolescence. And nobody can kill it. Only Krishna can kill it. So all these things, brahmacharya, vanaprastha, brahmacharya, grhastha, vanaprastha, sannyas. All these ashrams require brahmacharya. But we perform a big mistake when we try to think that on my power I am going to subdue the lust. And try to perform austerities. Try to perform austerity, which is not required and not given in our process. And I make up so many other austerities. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, which is not required. Because you are not going to curb or restrain this lust. What can restrain this lust? Krishna. And how? When we perform sincere devotional activities, or when I start getting the higher taste. When I start getting the higher taste. For example, if I keep giving my kids dal chawal sabji roti, this Indian food, never expose them to pizza. Once suddenly they eat pizza, they get the higher taste. Now I know what pizza looks like, right? What you are giving is just not enough. So higher taste, when I get the higher taste, then brahmacharya or celibacy just comes out of it. You understand what I'm trying to say? Brahmacharya is a side effect of being a pure devotee of the Lord. And I kept mentioning about 11th canto, chapter number 17. In that, Krishna is clearly explaining the occupations of grahastha, householders, as well as occupation of all these things which we just mentioned. Krishna keeps mentioning, but he is saying this is good for those who are not surrendered to him. Varnashram system is a platform from where we can enter into the path of bhakti or jnana. But we want to enter into the path of bhakti, obviously, in order to attain full shraddha or dhrida vishwas or full conviction. That's the platform. But alone Varnashram system is not going to give you that bhakti or bhakti ras which we are looking for. That's not I am saying. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur clearly is mentioning without with or without Varnashram system, you can still get bhakti ras if you are performing. But because we are not that pure, their spontaneous love is still not there. So we have to follow our varnas and ashrama. But making that our ultimate goal is not what has been recommended. Like in other religion, including Vedic religion also, which is given, I'm not going to name any kind of sect or any kind of religion here, but they propagate remain celibate. And remain celibate for what? Because then you are going to promote yourself in heaven. And what are you going to do in heaven? Anybody? Enjoyment. So, enjoyment. You are just curbing your, it's like Shreyas and Presh, right? Right now you are not enjoying, you want to enjoy in a upper planetary system with demigods, with apsaras, so many, damsels of celestial planets. Huh? So the entire brahmacharya is bogus there. I'm not saying these strong words, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has said. This is a bogus representation of brahmacharya. This is a show bottle. Srila Prabhupada has said so many times, right? When I try to cultivate devotion into my heart by following the processes, by associating, by hearing and understanding what is given, why, where it is given, and what is the purpose behind giving this in Srimad Bhagavatam, and how I can cultivate these qualities in myself, and how I become a better and better devotee, a realized devotee, not just chanting and increasing the quantity of my rounds and have no faith, no interest or no inclination even towards one name of Krishna or one round of Krishna. Quality always comes gets the weightage over quantity. That and Hari Bhakti Vilas also, Sanatana Goswami is given 6 rules of chanting, 6 recommendations of chanting, no rule, 6 recommendation of chanting, which we are making rules these days. I have seen. So it's 6 rules, but these are the 6 recommendations which Sanatana Goswami is giving in Hari Bhakti Vilas. So attention and affection is what required, and that's when the heart get changed, internal, consciousness get changed. Then this consciousness can turn towards the real spirituality, and then brahmacharya, this desire, we read, right? Smarana, Kirtana, Keli, all these will not even arise in me. Yamunacharya, he said, right? Whenever I think of this sexual union with anybody, I'll just spit on this thought. That means sannyasis also get this thought. Everybody get, and I'm not saying, Kapil Muni is saying that nobody, Vanaprastha, sannyasa, everybody has this desire of lust. And the examples are there. Vishwamitra is there, who fell down from his Ashtanga Yoga. Shobri Muni was there, Ashtanga Yoga. And so many things we can see that have been explained in Srimad Bhagavatam is the proof of everything. And there are other stories also. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that we need to perform the devotional services, direct devotional service, in order to get rid of all these things, rather than becoming a show bottle in the eyes of people. See, I'm so great. I'm following the celibacy. And what's going on into my mind? Because this is a conditioning. And Kamadev, he himself is saying, nobody can overcome me. Nobody. Only Krishna is the one who can detect karma in your heart, and Krishna is going to remove and is going to sit there, right there. I'm going to conclude my discussion with one letter which was written by Srila Prabhupada to Mother Ekaini. I don't know, I have it here. It was in my phone. Maybe I will get it here. It was in my phone. I think 3rd December. Prabhupada. It was in my, yes, I think this is the one. I'm showing what I'm saying is my, opinion or what is, generated from my mind. And Prabhupada also mentioned so many times about celibacy very strongly. But at the same time, what Srila Prabhupada has to say to Mother A.K. Aini, let's just see. My dear A.K. Aini, please accept my blessings. I beg to acknowledge receipt of your letter dated this, and I have noted the contents with great concern. I do not know why these things, inventions are going on. That is our only business, to invent something new program, question. We have already got our Vaishnav standard. That is sufficient for Madhavacharya, Ramanujacharya. It was sufficient for Lord Chaitanya, 6 Goswamis, for Bhakti Vinod Thakur, for my Guru Maharaj, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, for me, for all big saints and acharyas in our line. Srila Prabhupada has given the names of all the acharyas in our line. Why it shall be inadequate for my disciples, so that they must manufacture something? That is not possible. Who has introduced these things? That women cannot have chanting japa in the temple. They cannot perform the arti and so many things. If they become agitated, then let the brahmacharis go to the forest. I have never introduced these things. The brahmacharis cannot remain in the presence of women in the temple. Then may go to the forest, not remaining in New York City. Because in New York City, there are so many women. So how they can avoid seeing? Best thing is to go to the forest for not seeing any women if they become so easily agitated. But then no one will either see them, and how our preaching work will go on. They should not simply husband and wife live in the room together in the temple. Otherwise, there is no restriction. How it can be? It is not possible. Hoping this will meet you in good health. Your ever well wisher, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. It is there in prabhupadbooks.com, letters to Mother Akyani. That's what Srila Prabhupada had to say. And Srila Prabhupada, yes, Prabhupada.
Specifically, what part of this are you? This is a really good letter to reference for a number of reasons.
So,
what part of it? I'm curious. What do you?
When there is prabhupadbooks.com, where all the things of Srila Prabhupada has been stored. Yeah, you can see here, Prabhu, books, lectures, conversations, letters.
Yeah. Specifically, what part of this letter were you referring to with regards to the class? Because it covered this letter covered a lot of good information.
Who has introduced? My point was, who has introduced these things that women cannot chant in the temple, they cannot perform arti and so many things. If they have become agitated, then let the brahmacharis go to the forest. The point here is, the problem is not in the woman or a man in the sense objects. The problem is in me, because I am not a strong devotee or practitioner. I am falling down for my own. So this is what I am referring to. Sorry for over information.
No, it's good.
So that's what, and Srila Prabhupada is the one who in purport so many times bring the point of celibacy, be celibate, celibate. But Srila Prabhupada never said do it and separately just to increase your powers or anything. Devotional service is the one which Srila Prabhupada always focused on. Devotional service, and also Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So with this, I think this is too much information. I was feeling that too, that this is too much information. But 11:17, please read where Krishna is mentioning that these are the things for those who have not surrendered to me. But for pure devotee, there is another chapter for pure devotional service. Krishna has mentioned so many times in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Uddhav Gita. So the point is, which I wanted to bring out with this letter is, the problem is not in the object of senses. The problem is in the
conscious in the mind, in my own mind, which is being covered with so many things from time immemorial. So now it's my time to work on my devotional service. Once a devotional service, I am situated in my devotional service, there is change inside. We will see nobody, everybody I can see is just like a bag of flesh and, or just a devotee. And that was the sight of Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada never introduced so many things which has been introduced later on. And here, I'm not here to change any opinions, and I'm not here to give criticize or doing anything, but I'm here to just to show what our acharyas has said and Srila Prabhupada has said. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
If anyone wants to get the 18 kinds of branches of Vedic knowledge, I'm happy to share this because I know it's a.
That'd be great. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's very helpful to see the breakdown like that.
Yeah.
Because it's very pragmatic. I mean, I've always felt that the Vedic system it hits on everything. I mean, it seems like there's no stone left unturned. It really addresses absolutely everything. The key is to recognize that although there are practicalities in there, for like health and war and astrology and all of these pragmatic ways of living our lives, we have to do that according to the Vedic system. But ultimately, when we focus our attention on our sort of cultivation of Krishna consciousness, that all of these things, Krishna's going to help us cultivate those also. But we have to try and manifest a lifestyle that is going to give us the opportunities and the tools to cultivate Krishna consciousness and all of those 18
the thing is,
branches help with that.
Yeah. The thing is, all these things have been given just for one person, one thing, some siddhir haritoshanam. Just to, as you said, just to please Krishna. But the focus has been completely changed. And that's why more than cultivating devotees and cultivating people, our focus is on these things. Matajis are not going to give this, Prabhujis are not going to, this is new, this is happening, and I think there is a need to just bring out all these things more often. What Srila Prabhupada, what is the mission, why Srila Prabhupada has come.
You can certainly take all of those things and just pull them away from a spiritual context.
Yeah.
And then when you take them outside of spiritual context, they lose their potency, first of all, and then they're easily manipulated and easily twisted into whatever suits that sect of people,
So
or
that's
suits
why
that culture of people. So we have to, so it's I think it's important to kind of keep reminding everyone that actually all of these were created in the essence of remembering our true purpose here is to cultivate a relationship with Krishna. And otherwise, if you're using these things outside of that context, there's likely that there's been distortions placed on them.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of manufacturing of new concepts that aren't aligned with the true purpose of those 18 branches.
And I think many times culture also come into the knowledge part culturally, but this again, it has been given just to protect the celibacy of both the sects. But at the same time, if I'm not concentrating on my own sadhana and I'm just, like, I don't know if you know that devotees, disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they told him, why we have to listen to Yamuna Mataji in the morning, voice of lady, right? Prabhupada said, it's an accidental voice. We are still stuck in where, we are not there, honestly, where we can really see that everybody is soul, I am soul, and so we have to follow certain rules and regulations. But at the same time, on the pretense of following rules and regulation, just, not in order to maintain our own brahmacharya, I cannot say you are the responsible cause for not making, like all these things. Anyways, that was my. Thank you, Vrindavaneshwar.
If you could share those 8 obstacles for
Yes,
celibacy.
I will probably.
I felt that they were very practical. And what it took me to was in the 2nd chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. While contemplating the objects of the senses, a person develops attachment for them. You know, from there, lust develops. From lust, so from subtle, it becomes gross.
Yes.
And this is, I think this is very important because there's an idea that my Guru Maharaj used to use. He would call it subtle sex life. So there's like gross sex life, and then there's subtle sex life.
Very powerful. Yeah.
Where there's, as you're saying, it starts with, the flirtation,
Yeah.
it could even just be the desire for adoration. I'm doing a lot of austerity. I'm doing like this, getting recognized, getting seen.
Yeah.
And then from that scene, just becoming seen, now the tension comes, and then it gradually comes up. But it, trying to find, okay, so a couple of thoughts came into my head there. So one of them is, some of that may be present at all times within the man and the woman. So when you have the Grihastha ashram, it at least allows it to be contained with commitment, formality, where at least 2 people can work through it and gradually move through it, as opposed to just it's out there in the open and everybody's just kind of like intermixing and jumping from one person to the other person. Which shows that there's an importance to the Grihastha ashram. And then coupling, people kind of forming that formal relationship. Because at least that can be contained. But the other part of it is, I think this is important to share on a regular basis, that this is not just an old-fashioned form of values, kind of an antiquated system of tradition that we maybe have outgrown in, modern times. And sometimes this is what it's kind of looked at as like, yes, back in the 1800s, this is the way people used to live. But there's an actual philosophical reason as you go through those progressions of what is actually taking place. And I see that very prominently here. Now, sometimes you oversteer. And at one point, it's like you're driving down the road and you swerve this way. And then you have to swerve really hard to go the other way. So sometimes you see like the swerving to the point where, like, like in the letter where they say like women shouldn't be allowed in the temple room, they should have their own time in the temple room. Or I know like one temple they used to have like the women, there was like a balcony, only the women could only be on the balcony, the men would be on the floor, or the women would be in the back of the temple, the men would be in the front of the temple. There was a lot of like this, not so long ago. I mean, like these things.
I myself is I have seen this with me.
Yeah.
I mean, I come from India, so I know.
So you see that, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Very
like,
often.
so these things were there, but then you say, okay, well that was like way on the one side. So then they turn to the other side, and to the point where it's like, men and women should just mix freely, thinking that they have that they are beyond this.
That is
full of sexuality. They think, well, I'm above, it's not going to affect me, I can drive in a car with a woman, no problem, it wouldn't affect me, and we'll go on a long trip together, but I'm above that, But like you said, karma doesn't spare anybody. Like we shouldn't think that we're stronger than karma.
He gets into through the activities. And as I said, as you mentioned very perfectly, Prabhu, that's what actually my point is, that remain in the middle road. I mean, not here, not there. That's why I mentioned all these 8 obstacles before going into the part what is real brahmacharya and how it's going to cultivate in ourselves with the serious practice of devotional service and with serious love and affection for the Lord and his devotees. Otherwise, if these things are not there, then it will be always either in this side or other side.
Yeah.
It's always like that. Either I'm criticizing everybody except me, because of you, because of you, because of me, or I am on the other side, as you said, staring here and there. In order to go straight in this path, we definitely need help of our senior Vaishnavas who are dedicated and who we can see, like our spiritual master, as you mentioned about His Holiness Bhakti Tirth Maharaj, their insights and senior Vaishnavas, very important. Very, very important. That's why I mentioned before, that so that thinking, oh, brahmacharya is a side effect of devotional service, I don't have to do anything. No, we still have to remember all these 8 points so that my bhakti, because ultimately, who is going back? I am. I am whose soul? I am going back. If I'm not following rules and regulation, who is not going back? I'm not going back. It's the profit and loss for me, and that's the just misconception which I have seen that people think I am coming to your class because of you. I am doing this because of you. No, you are doing for yourself. I'm doing for myself. I'm listening, I'm hearing, not for anybody else. We are just having pity on our own soul, who is trapped so much and getting this steers and what you call jerks,
Great.
constantly jerks, and this conscious, this soul is getting and just changing and changing and changing bodies. Anyways.
Yeah. It's also interesting in the letter at the end, Srila Prabhupada had talked about how husband and wife should not live together in the temple. I thought that was an interesting part of it. It says, otherwise there'll be no restriction. So I don't know what context that was in. If that there was a specific to that letter
to
that Mother
Ekayani
Ekayani had written. But that would be interesting.
Yeah, I wanted to see that too, Prabhu. What was Mother Ekayani's letter to Prabhupada? But in that, only Prabhupada's letters are there, I guess. So I am interested in seeing what she wrote. Because when, many times letters are being just notifying the particular context. But here, Srila Prabhupada, it seems that it has been asked and Srila Prabhupada is giving, and he mentioned the entire Guru Parampara. Bhakti Vedanta, Saraswati Thakur, Siddhanta, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, 6 Goswamis. Where in the books we see the 6 Goswamis? Nothing. I don't have any more comments on this, but anyways.
Yeah. That was good. I don't know, we could probably try to find Mother Ekayani and then write to her and ask her.
I am
she would
in
share
search
with you.
of that. Just want to, but definitely that something was asked by Mother Ekayani, and then Prabhupada is giving the middle section of the letter is very important for all of us to know, especially for living entities who are conditioned and in woman body.
It's serious because we want to respect, you want to serve in a very healthy way. You don't want to live in this fear of I got to turn my head every time I see somebody. But you also have to be aware of this factor of karma.
In India, is it offline?
Want me to turn it off?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to say.
Okay. Hare Krishna devotees.